I just want to come over here and say a couple things. Do y'all realize that if you're out there trying to control somebody, you're a woman trying to control a man, if you're a man trying to control a woman, if you're trying to make your kids do something, that you want them to do, you desperately want to do, like, do you not realize that from when a baby is born, you have no control over what it do. You have to take care of it, yes, and you have to nurture it until it's, of age where it can, pretty much do for themselves. And, that's like the crawling stage. Once they start walking, they can, become a little bit more independent. So every day, every year that you, grow older, every day that you, make it through the day, alive and, well. And, as we grow into adults, I wish people would try to stop trying to change people and just stop trying to, yes, you could tell the child what to do. Yes, as adults, we can offer our advice and 2 cents and everything like that. But until one day, maybe if you're going through something, you can, teach your children, of course, but to change somebody and to force them to try to be something that they're not or that they don't want to change, especially as adults, I'm a grown ass woman. So when I finally took me 40 years to realize that I cannot change nobody but myself, nobody out there in the world. And I never had no kids, but that's never mind that. But I've raised and kids been in my life all my life. I spent 20 years as a daycare worker. So it's just the fact when it took me 40 years to realize that I cannot change nobody. I could never ever change a man. I could never ever change a family member, a friend, people. And even as a newborn baby, it's going to always go with their gut instincts. So since babies can't use their brain yet, they have to, go off instincts like animals have to, survive off of. Stop trying to change people. I'm going to say this again. Stop trying to change people because you can never, ever change nobody. And so when I started changing myself and wanted to change myself, like people started dropping like flies out of my life. And so now that I'm pretty much, don't have nobody, that I can physically call right now in a second. I cannot call nobody on the telephone. So I call on God. And so that moment and that very second when I decided to change my life for the better and change my life and I wanted to change, like I wanted more out of life. I didn't want this mediocre shit. I didn't want to settle for nothing. I stopped wanting to change people because you cannot change nothing. You cannot make nobody do nothing that they don't genuinely want to do. So once you get, to that place in your life and you realize you can't even change your kids, yes, you could teach them and guide them, but you cannot change them. Actually, you don't know what that little child is doing, when they go out to school, when they're playing with their friends. You just don't know. Nobody knows what nobody's doing 24/7. That's what's called a deep, dark secret. So that's what's called a deep, dark secret. I learned about people living dark lives, that thing of called double lives and all that stuff. People do take things to their grave. People have so many skeletons that nobody will ever know about because they was either by themselves or never ever told nobody. So that moment when you tell somebody anything, especially if you committed, or done something, said something, completely by yourself, that moment you turn one person, boom, it's gonna spread, it's gonna spread, it's gonna spread. And eventually that's how rumors get started, lies get spread. People talk behind your back, and it's just, life is just life. You have to roll with the punches. You have to evolve. You have to make yourself better. You have to do what you need to do to survive. But the one thing I have learned, like within these last 7 months that I've been alone, completely alone, especially, when all my life I've been around people, family, friends, one thing I learned is that when everybody was gone, at the end of the day, all I had was God. I started searching for God because everybody was gone. I was, so fucked up. My mind was so gone. And I was like, I don't want to die, y'all. I don't want to die. I don't want to commit suicide. Suicide runs in my family. So when I started searching for him and when I found him and when I could start hearing him in my ear and inside my voice, I could hear my voice. So everybody has that voice in their head. But when I started hearing God's voice in my head, my life has changed completely. And so since that moment, it's like everybody is gone. Everybody's gone. But guess who's still here? Has always been there and will forever be there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Lord. God Almighty, I love you. I'm never going nowhere. And when I do have to leave this here physical being, I'm coming straight to you. Milk and honey, the gold streets, them golden streets. That's what I live for. Heaven on earth is what I have. I have my heaven on earth. I found my happiness. I know what it takes to feel happy, to feel complete, to feel joyous, and I'm good regardless of what I do or say and what I go through. At the end of the day, I come up out of it, I bounce back, and Lord, oh Lord, y'all better get some Lord in your life. You better get some God somehow, some way, and drink water.